Brazil has stood out at the food and beverage sector. Ambev, after its fusion with Interbrew from Belgium, becoming InBev, turned it into one of the biggest beer companies in the world. It has 60% of the Brazilian market, and it owns many other beer brands in Europe. Brazil Foods, also known as BR Foods, Perdigão and Sadia merger, is the 10th biggest company in the Americas and exports its products to 110 countries today. The exportation of food has been a significant role in the Brazilian economy. Brazil is the greatest exporter of soy on earth. Besides the big potential on exporting, the local market has been growing. Heineken noticed that and it is looking forward to increase its sales in Brazil after its purchase of FEMSA. 500 unfit for consumption hamburgers were seized by the cops of the Primeira Delegacia de Saúde Pública in Jabaquara, south region of São Paulo. Of this total, 270 hamburgers passed the date, and the other 250 units didn't have an informed origin. The deputy Marcelo Jacobucci said, "It's 40 kilos of meat. Even I got surprised." The manager of the fast food was caught in the act and paid a fine of 1,500 reais. He even tried to explain the irregularity, saying that it was sabotage from an employee. Nevertheless, the manager will have to respond for crime against the public health. Coca-Cola bought Leon Jr., company that produces Mate Leon, a black tea sold in Brazil. Coca-Cola made the acquisition in 2007, but the Administrative Council of Economic Defense, CADE in Portuguese, only approved that in June of 2009. Now, changes in the Brazilian brand have been made. One of the objectives is to reinforce the selling structure and distribution of the Leon teas, raising the coordination on the administrative, operational, and marketing sectors with the rest of the drinks portfolio. When asked about the changes, Coke said that the use of its selling and distribution system on the brand Leon is being analyzed, and the integration of the marketing and innovation structure between the companies as well. The merger between WOW and Gold Nutrition, the first company sells healthy juices and the second sells sweetener, unite two enterprises that already belong to the Grupo Brasfanta, but worked separate. Just like other companies on the beverage sector, the idea of the new WOW Nutrition is to invest in the food sector. The brand Sufresh from WOW is the second best in ready-to-drink juices, with 10% participation in the market. Gold Nutrition also occupies the second place in the sweetener market and have other products such as chocolate and cereal bars. To justify the merger, the executive William De Angelis Salum says that the supermarket have decreased the number of suppliers and have been working with companies capable of delivering high diversity to the market. The first new products of WOW Nutrition should arrive at the stores next year. However, due to the last year's problem on the beverage sector, with the lack of beverage on the shelves, the enterprise is investing 7 million reais to increase in 50% the production capacity of the juice and tea factory in Caçapava, countryside of São Paulo. InBev, during the USA crisis, bought Anheuser-Busch, company that produces Budweiser, American icon since 1876. To do this purchase, InBev made a loan of $45 billion of the 52 billion of the acquisition. Later on, to help to pay this debt, InBev sold the Busch Gardens. The loan brought returns though. In March of 2009, the company reported that this was its first year ahead of Anheuser-Busch. Heineken pretends to be the best beer brand in Brazil. After it bought FEMSA, Mexican company owner of Kaiser in Brazil, Jean-François van Boxmeer, the CEO of Heineken, wants to raise the sales to 25% of the Brazilian market, which corresponds for 11% today. The company also wants to reconquer the lost customers of FEMSA, because the market plot decreased 18%. The Mexican enterprise will be 20% of the Heineken group. The food and beverage industry of the world wants to give the best to the customers with many innovative products. The most recent technique is to cut some ingredients, leaving aside the most artificial and introducing the most recognized by customers. Häagen-Dazs 5 ice cream shows this tendency with only 5 ingredients per ice cream flavor. Worried with the delay on the approval that Perdigão bought Sadia, José Antônio Prado Dofai, president of Brazil Foods, asked a meeting with the integrants of the Administrative Council of Economic Defense, CADE. Perdigão bought Sadia in March of 2009. The president of CADE, Arthur Badin, said to Prado that he can't do anything because the actual legislation gives huge time for these trials to happen. It gives 180 days as deadline, and CADE only can obtain results about this merger. Before the final trial, these purchases will have to pass through other processes. The acquisition is being defended by members from the year 2000. In the Lula government, the project was sent to the Congress, where it transits for 3 years. To the president of CADE, it is better to accept a completely amended text than to keep the defense of the competition the way it is, where big fusions are only judged months or even years after the acquisition by corporations. The fact that the National Congress did not approve the project of law is supposed to be the main fail of the defense of competition system, according to the OCDE, Organization for the Cooperation and Economic Development. Some problems with the justice still needed to be fixed, so Brazil can have a better development in the economy, but it is going fast. The corporation, with the Brazilian style, showed the world market that they have potential to compete against wealthy countries. InBev and Brazil Foods are the main examples because they became important in America and some parts of Asia and Europe. Brazilian companies know how to adapt to other cultures, which expands the market. BR Foods, for example, kill their chicken while the chickens are facing Mecca, so they can export it to Muslim countries. The food and beverage sector wasn't really shaken with the USA crisis, so it didn't slow down too much. Some areas even had a small growth. In Brazil, there is a significant increase in this sector. The country is beginning to become rich. In some years, we might be speaking of many other corporations that got influent abroad. Thank you.